Question 831. A formal declaration that an affidavit is true by someone whose beliefs prohibit taking an oath is called an A. Assertion, B. Proclamation, C. Affidavit, D. Affirmation. Correct answer is D. Affirmation. An affirmation is used to declare the truth solemnly and formally but not under oath. They are usually utilized by persons who decline to take an oath for religious reasons. It carries the same legal penalties for perjury as a sworn oath. Question 832. Companies wishing to act as an escrow officer must apply for an escrow license to the A. Bureau of Real Estate, B. Better Business Bureau, C. Department of Business Oversight, D. HUD. Correct answer is C. Department of Business Oversight. Important note: the California Department of Business Oversight, DBO, was renamed the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, DFPI, on July 1, 2020. When using older study materials, remember that the Department of Business Oversight is the correct answer for the agency that regulates and licenses independent escrow companies. This is because some questions might predate its renaming. Bureau of Real Estate, now California Department of Real Estate DRE, licenses real estate brokers and salespersons. While real estate brokers can sometimes act as escrow agents for transactions they are involved in, dedicated escrow companies are licensed by the DFPI. Better Business Bureau is a private, non-profit organization that promotes ethical business practices. Not a government licensing body. HUD, Department of Housing and Urban Development, is a federal agency that deals with national housing programs and policies. Does not license state-level escrow companies. Question 833. A vertical load such as a floor or the roof is supported by A. Interior sheathing, B. Siding, C. Supportive joisters, D. Load-bearing walls. Correct answer is D. Load-bearing walls. Load-bearing walls are specifically designed to support the weight of the structure above them, including floors and roofs. They transfer the vertical load from the roof and floors down to the foundation. They are crucial structural components. Before renovating, homeowners should be aware that identifying load-bearing walls can be tricky in newer houses or those with past structural changes like room additions. These walls are critical and cannot be removed without proper structural modifications. An architect or engineer should be consulted. Joists, or supportive joisters, are horizontal framing members that span between walls or beams. They directly support the flooring or ceiling, roof sheathing. However, the weight they carry is then transferred to the load-bearing walls, or beams and columns, which then transmit the load further down to the foundation. Interior sheathing provides rigidity to walls and a surface for finishes, but it's not a primary load-bearing element. Siding is an exterior finish material and provides no structural support for vertical loads. While joists directly support the floor, roof deck, the load-bearing walls are the fundamental vertical elements that carry these cumulative vertical loads through the structure to the ground. Question 834. If a purchaser under a land contract makes deposits into an impound account designated to cover taxes and insurance, those funds cannot be used for any other reason without consent by the A. Beneficiary, B. Seller, C. Purchaser, D. Impound accountant. Correct answer is C. Purchaser. A purchaser under a land contract is an individual who agrees to buy a property from a seller over a specified period of time. In a land contract, the seller retains legal title to the property until the buyer completes all payments. During this period, the buyer takes possession of the property and makes regular payments to the seller. The purchaser is the one who makes payments into the impound account. The funds in this account are intended to cover property taxes and insurance premiums on behalf of the purchaser. The seller, as the legal owner of the property, benefits indirectly from the timely payment of these expenses, but they do not have direct control over the funds in the impound account. Question 835. The most significant factor in qualifying a prospective loan borrower would be: A. Number of dependents. B. Debt-to-income ratio, DTI. C. Job prospects. D. Credit score. Correct answer is B. Debt-to-income ratio, DTI. Debt-to-income ratio, DTI, directly measures a borrower's ability to afford monthly loan payments. It compares their total monthly debt obligations, including the new loan payment, to their gross monthly income. A high DTI indicates that a large portion of their income is already committed to existing debts, making it difficult to take on more. Lenders have strict DTI limits, and if a borrower exceeds this threshold, they are often immediately disqualified, regardless of other factors. A credit score is vital. It indicates a borrower's past payment behavior and willingness to repay debt. However, even an excellent score doesn't guarantee they can truly afford a new loan, as income and existing debts also play a crucial role. Stability of employment and income are crucial, as they feed directly into the calculation of the DTI. However, job prospects itself is less quantifiable than the DTI. Number of dependents impacts a borrower's disposable income but is factored into the overall financial picture, often indirectly through DTI calculations or specific underwriting guidelines. The DTI directly assesses the borrower's capacity to repay the loan, which is often the primary concern for lenders. Question 836. Jerry and Ronnie form a partnership. Their partnership can take title to property in: A. Only in the name of one of the partners designated by the partnership to hold title. B. Only in the name of the partnership. C. In the name of either of the partners. D. Only in the name of a third party. Correct answer is C. In the name of either of the partners. According to California real estate law, a partnership has flexibility in how it can take title to real property. The property can indeed be held: 1. In the name of the partnership itself, e.g., Jerry and Ronnie Partnership. This is often the cleanest and most direct method under the entity theory of partnership. 2. In the name of one or more of the individual partners, e.g., Jerry Smith and Ronnie Jones, as partners of Jerry and Ronnie Partnership. When partners hold title in this manner, they are holding it for the benefit of the partnership, and it is considered partnership property. This is related to the historical concept of tenancy in partnership. 3. In the name of a trustee as a third party, often through a trust agreement where the trustee holds legal title for the benefit of the partnership. Given these options, the most encompassing correct answer, acknowledging the flexibility permitted by California law, is in the name of either of the partners. This implicitly includes the ability for one partner to hold title on behalf of the partnership, which is a recognized method in California. Question 837. The statute of frauds requires that the following kinds of agreements be in writing in order to be valid, except an A. Listing agreement. B. Contract to sell property. C. Agreement by two brokers to share a commission. D. Buyer agency agreement. Correct answer is C. Agreement by two brokers to share a commission. The statute of frauds requires certain agreements to be in writing to be enforceable, particularly those involving real estate. Let's examine the options in light of California's statute of frauds. Civil Code Section 1624. A. Listing agreement. An agreement authorizing or employing an agent or broker to purchase or sell real estate, or lease for more than 1 year, must be in writing. This falls under the statute of frauds. B. Contract to sell property. Contracts for the sale of real property or an interest therein must be in writing. This is a core requirement of the statute of frauds. C. Agreement by two brokers to share a commission. Historically, agreements between brokers to share a commission have generally been held not to fall under the statute of frauds in California. That's meaning they can be enforceable even if oral. This is based on the reasoning that the statute of frauds aims to protect principals, buyers, sellers, from unfounded claims by brokers. It's not to regulate agreements between brokers. D. Buyer agency agreement. An agreement authorizing or employing an agent or broker to purchase real estate on behalf of a buyer, especially concerning their compensation, must be in writing. In California, recent legislation, effective January 1, 2025, even more explicitly mandates written buyer representation agreements for compensation. Therefore, the agreement that is not required to be in writing by the statute of frauds is an agreement by two brokers to share a commission. Question 838. Is personal property, not real property? A. Stock in a corporation. B. Airspace over an airport. C. Apple orchard. D. Mineral rights. Correct answer is A. Stock in a corporation. Let's analyze each option to determine if it's personal property or real property. A. Stock in a corporation. Shares of stock represent ownership in a corporation. While a corporation might own real estate, the stock itself is a certificate of ownership in the company, which is considered personal property, specifically, an intangible personal property. B. Airspace over an airport. When defined and linked to a specific land parcel or building, airspace is typically considered part of the real property. This means that rights to the space above your land are generally included with your property ownership. Over an airport, it's typically subject to government regulation but is still fundamentally a dimension of land ownership. C. Apple orchard. An apple orchard consists of trees that are planted in and affixed to the land. Trees, crops, and other vegetation that are naturally growing or cultivated and permanently attached to the land are considered real property. While the fruit itself, once harvested, becomes personal property, the orchard as a whole is real property. D. Mineral rights. Mineral rights are the ownership of the minerals, e.g., oil, gas, gold, beneath the surface of a property. These rights can be sold or leased separately from the surface rights, but they are considered an interest in real property. Based on this analysis, the item that is personal property, not real property, is stock in a corporation. Question 839. What kind of property listing requires the owner to pay a commission to a broker in the event of a sale, even if the owner sells the property on his own? A. Open listing. B. Exclusive agency listing. C. Exclusive right to sell listing. D. Internet listing. Correct answer is C. Exclusive right to sell listing. A. Open listing. The owner can work with multiple brokers, and only the broker who finds the buyer earns a commission. If the owner sells the property themselves, no commission is owed to any broker. B. Exclusive agency listing. The owner grants exclusive rights to one broker, but retains the right to sell the property themselves without paying a commission to the broker. The broker earns a commission only if they or another broker, working through the exclusive agency broker, finds the buyer. C. Exclusive right to sell listing. This is the most common type of listing and offers the most protection to the broker. Under this agreement, the broker is entitled to a commission regardless of who sells the property, the broker, another broker, or even the owner themselves, during the term of the listing agreement. D. Internet listing. This refers to a method of advertising, online, and is not a type of listing agreement defining commission structure. Therefore the correct answer is C. Exclusive right to sell listing. Question 840. Economic obsolescence is generally considered to be A. Unimportant. B. Curable. C. Incurable. D. No longer a factor in most communities. Correct answer is C. Incurable. Economic obsolescence refers to a loss in property value caused by factors external to the property itself. These factors are typically beyond the owner's control and cannot be cured through repairs or renovations. Here are some examples of factors that can cause economic obsolescence. 1. Neighborhood decline. A decline in the overall quality of the neighborhood, such as increased crime rates or deteriorating infrastructure. 2. Changes in zoning. New zoning laws that restrict the use of the property. 3. Economic downturns. Economic recessions or depressions that reduce demand for property. 4. Changes in transportation patterns. The construction of new highways or the closure of nearby businesses. Because these factors are typically beyond the owner's control, economic obsolescence is generally considered incurable. While a property owner might lobby for change or try to adapt their property, they cannot directly cure the underlying external cause of the depreciation in value.